Hello YouTube, my name is Isabella and welcome back to my channel Stubbornly Bookish. Today I'm coming to you with yet again another haul. I can't remember the last time I posted a haul other than like my book outlet box sale one, but that was a specific one for just that event, and now I think it's been months for me doing like a regular haul, and I'm staring at the stacks right there and my god. It's something. I'm not too upset with the amount of books I've bought recently. I've got a crazy amount of books used, a great deal, great prices, and I think I've only bought like 5 new books plus the books I get in my owl crate in these past, like, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months. Also, something to know about me is I tend to go into books pretty blind, so these synopses should be pretty short. Apologies if you like to know more, but I don't like to know too much going into stories. So the first book I grabbed was The Lies of Locke Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is an adult fantasy novel that I've been wanting to read for so long, and I'm so glad that I found it at the thrift store. A lot of people say it's like Six of Crows, but adults. There's heists and thieving and like great romances, so I'm there. I'm excited. I also found Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. Agatha Christie, I haven't read anything by her, and I've wanted to for a while. She like revolutionized the genre of mystery. This one was a little bit of a mistake, and I grabbed The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood. This is actually the sequel to her Orcs and Crake like dystopian trilogy, and I didn't realize that when picking it up. I do want to read that trilogy though, so I'm not too mad about it. I'm just gonna tuck it away in my closet until I can find the other ones. I believe in my most recent not book outlet haul, I hauled The Sun and Our Flowers, and I actually found Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. I have said it before, I'm quite intimidated by poetry, and this is Rupi Kaur's debut collection. A lot of people love it and a lot of people hate it too, but we shall see how I feel as a poetry novice. Another one that I found that I'm crazy excited for is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Adam Silvera is an author that I've wanted to read for a really long time because he writes contemporary books with like the littlest twist of a sci-fi element. In this one, it's a near future where there's this process thing that you can do to forget your memories, and our main character is contemplating that after he's been dealing with a lot of grief, and once he starts to slowly become happy, he also discovers that he's gay, and so he is struggling with whether or not he wants to erase that and just be happy. And I'm very excited to read this. It's an Own Voices work. Another super exciting find at the thrift store was Graceling by Kristen Kishore. This is one of those classic YA trilogy books that I can't tell you anything about. I just know that Kristen Kishore is well liked by people who've read her books, and that the trilogy, the Graceling trilogy, they're like a set of prequels and sequels, and they're not entirely related, like by companion fantasy, which is different. I also found The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This is about 2 twins or siblings set in a world in which fae and humans kind of live side by side, and our 2 siblings are both in love with this fae boy who's been sleeping for decades, and then everything kind of goes to shit when he wakes up. So I believe there's supposed to maybe be a male-male romance in this one, if I'm not confusing it with another series of hers, and I've been meaning again to read Holly Black for a while, so I was excited for this one. I also found In the Midst of Winter by Isabel Allende. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Apologies if I'm not, but she is one of the most popular magical realism authors. This one is quite a new release. It's a 2017 release about 3 unlikely people coming together, and it plays with time and it tells stories of immigration, and there's apparently a romance that should have happened like years ago, and I'm excited to see what the hype is about with Isabel Allende. So these next 3 books I actually bought at Indigo, but all 3 of them I got for $10, which is crazy because quite a few of them are new releases, so I'm excited. First one is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is an adult romance debut novel, and I had a really fun time reading it. I read it on vacation in one day, and it's about a hate-to-love relationship set in a publishing office. If I'm gonna pick a romance, that's the type of romance I'm going to pick. I also grabbed Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. If I can remember correctly, this is a fictional story of the first woman in Alaska who got the death penalty. I could be entirely making that up, but I think that's what it is. This one I'm interested in, but some people love it, some people hate it, so we shall see how I feel. I also picked up A Reunion of Ghosts by Judith Clare Mitchell. This one I grabbed because it was on a few like Canadian bestseller lists. This is often compared to The Night Circus, but it's supposed to be a grittier take. It's set in the 1930s about two orphans who have this dream of opening up a circus, but they're separated and they go through a lot of difficult stuff to get back to one another. I already know that there's a huge trigger warning for sexual assault and abuse, so just be forewarned. The next book I grabbed was The Nix by Nathan Hill. This one I don't know too much about other than the fact that it is lit fic and so many people rave about it. Apparently this is supposed to read super quickly, which is impressive because it's huge and really freaking heavy. I found a couple of graphic novels used as well. This one is Captain America Red, White, and Blue. I believe I was really struggling to find a fifth thing to purchase at my thrift store. I believe this is a collection of Captain America stories. He's not my favorite superhero, but you gotta start somewhere, and I'm happy to pick up something used and a lot cheaper than what it would have been. This was $32 Canadian, so that's a steal for me. I also grabbed numbers 4 and 5, I believe, in the Last Man series by Brian K. Vaughan. This is a series that I've been wanting to read for a long time. It's Brian K. Vaughan, and someone I follow who really, really likes graphic novels and comics loves these books, and it is about the last man on Earth after all men die except for him, but women are thriving. So I'm interested to see how it is. It's time for the obligatory Harry Potter ones. I am on the hunt for different editions of Harry Potter, older ones, and I've been collecting them all, really. And so I found different editions of book 1, 2, and 3. This one I purchased just because I've been looking to get a newer copy, a nicer copy than my old one. And these two are editions that I've been wanting to collect. Now, I did save my favorite and best finds from my thrift store shopping for last. I have 3 incredibly special ones that I found, and I'm very excited to share them with you. The first one being Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte in this really super cool edition. And the biggest reason why I grabbed this one is I'm like 95% sure that this is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and I'm Canadian. It has red pages, so I was gonna pick it up. Jane Eyre's not my favorite classic, but I did enjoy it, and I wasn't saying no. So the next one is exciting, and it is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I've been on the hunt for this novel, this edition of this novel, ever since I knew it existed, because this one is stunning. If you've seen the other editions they've attempted to put out in the world, which are not great, I do actually want to continue on in this series. I've only read the first book, and this one is a 1920s paranormal series that's supposed to be incredibly diverse. So my last thrift store find was incredibly special, and I can't believe I have this in my possession now, and it is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. And it's an ARC. There's a bit of a story behind me picking this one up, because I went to a different city because I had to do my final driver's test that I've been putting off for years, and frankly I only had a month left to get it before my license expired, so I was incredibly stressed, incredibly nervous and worried. Finally, I passed my test, and I decided to check if there were any thrift stores around, and I went to this one, and it just was calling to me. It's incredibly special and important to me. The series has been with me for about 8 years now, and it's not perfect. It's not the best all the time, but I love it, and this is an incredibly treasured possession of mine now. Okay, now on to the new portion of this haul. All of these books, except for one of them, I bought new. Just to get these out of the way, I bought numbers 3, 4, and 5 in the Saga graphic novel series. I have not read one of them, but Indigo was having a really good deal on these, and I had a gift card, and I was feeling impulsive. These ones are my owl crates for the past little bit. I got The Crow Prince by Holly Black. This was the January's book, I believe, and this one is crazy popular on BookTube. It is a YA fantasy fae story, and everyone has loved it. Some are iffy on it, but so many people love it, and I'm not going to bore you with the synopsis. I also got The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This was February's book. I think this cover is stunning and the change is stunning, and this one follows a girl whose grandmother wrote really famous stories that have sort of a cult-like following. Something goes wrong and she actually has to go to the place that her grandmother wrote about, and they're not actually all made up stories, which is super cool. This one has a lot of mixed opinions though, so I'm interested to see my thoughts on this one. And the most recent one I got was Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. This one I've been kind of eyeballing for the past little while, and it's about a girl and her little robot person, but he's like a sentient robot, and then her robot buddy starts to malfunction, so she has to go to these coordinates to steal this piece of tech to fix him, and kind of chaos ensues, and I think she gets captured at one point and then has to work together with the guy who also wants to steal the ship, and it's a whole thing. I'm excited for a space opera-y kind of one, and look, there's purple pages, so I automatically love it because your girl loves a colored page. I also grabbed The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet and A Closed and Calm in Orbit by Becky Chambers. This one I bought used off of Abe Books, and this one I got off Book Depository for like $7. I have been meaning to read this adult sci-fi, slow-paced, slow-burn, found family story for so long. It's a companion series, I believe, but so many people love these books, and I really wanted this edition, so I ended up tracking it down online. But yeah, they're pretty and they're nice and petite, and I'm very excited to read them. So I grabbed Zenith by Sasha Ellsberg and Lindsay Cummings. Everyone really, I think, knows about this book. Sasha Ellsberg is a booktuber, and I picked it up because I actually went to their signing. I got to meet them. It was very nice. It was really surreal seeing people that I've been like watching on screen for so long. I am a little nervous to read this because they're so like rife with controversy. Along with that one, I grabbed Iron Gold by Pierce Brown because at the time I was totally planning on going to a signing of his, but the day that I was supposed to go, I was exhausted and it was a little bit farther than I wanted to drive. Like, it would have been at least an hour on a highway I hate driving on. So I didn't end up going, which I haven't actually finished the Red Rising trilogy, but I believe this one takes place like maybe 10 years after or something like that, and it is a multi-perspective novel as opposed to the Red Rising trilogy, which is just told via one perspective. So I'm interested to see my thoughts after I read Morningstar. I've been meaning to pick it up for a while, but I haven't. After reading the 5th season and getting home for my vacation, I immediately bought book 2 of the Broken Earth trilogy, which is The Obelisk Gate. I couldn't not have it in my possession, and I told myself once I get up my review and book talk about the first one, then I get to read this one. So motivation, cannot wait to read and continue on in this series because the first book was so good. Oh my god. Maybe I'll actually link my review if I remember to, but I cannot wait to continue this because it was fucking fantastic. I also grabbed The Bells by Danielle Clayton. Everyone had been talking so highly of this one for so long that like they convinced me. I pre-ordered it and I still haven't read it because I'm awful. I am very excited for it. It's supposed to take place in like an opulent kind of New Orleans setting, and beauty is a commodity. It's supposed to talk about some heavy topics, and this cover is fierce, the spine is amazing, and I'm excited. The last book in this haul, and one I have already read and really, really loved, is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I really love this book. I thought it was so great and a fantastic debut. I also should have a book talk coming about this one very soon. Everyone compares it to Avatar / meets Black Panther, and I thought it was really good. The hype is a lot, so if you're going into it, try and lower those expectations, and if you do, I think you'll have a wonderful time. It was really, really great. All right, and then I'm finished, thank God. I think I spoke super quickly, but I wanted to get this one done. I want to get this edited. I don't want to do book hauls of this size anymore, so hopefully my next one isn't as bad. Let me know one of your most exciting finds of the past few months, and yeah, I will see you again very soon. Bye!